Welcome to the Oracle of the Feather Crown Tree. This is a reading for anyone seeking out a love interest with the feminine energy qualities. I'm really excited to bring you this reading. I have no idea what's going to come out here, and I'll just kind of reveal the different card positions, the content that they hold as we move through. Please think if you want to use this reading as a pick a card for a new love interest coming in. Please pick a number between 1 and 4. When I speak about which card represents what number, I'll also give the element that it's representing. So if you're in a current relationship, you can look to that to know which person I'm talking about. So that could denote either their sun sign as an element like fire or air, or that they have if you know their chart, if their chart is dominant in one of those qualities. Of course, if you know a few things about them and you want to blend a few of the ones that I'm speaking about together, I think that would serve you well. So we will begin with the actual interest that you're pursuing or that you're with right now. We'll look at what you find attractive, which will be speaking about the lessons that you can learn through that person. We'll look at what they find attractive about you and unattractive, what's harmonizing and disharmonic about your potential bond or the bond you're in, and what's really the strongest glue holding you together, your tightest bond that you can forge amongst yourselves. Okay, so if you picked number 1, that's going to be the element of fire. What I'm seeing here is that you are really drawn to this person's gumption to go after what they want. Whether or not they're completely focused, you do see that they have potential. I do sense that they're probably distracted by you, so you may be kind of throwing a little something their way that's catching their eye. But they certainly know what they want. Now, there is a forcefulness, though, to this person's qualities in this area where they may be quite fierce. They may be into martial arts. They may be into some type of training. They may be in the military. But something that exudes the combination of mental and physical cunningness and force coming together to execute for a goal or a target. And they may be quite savvy with this, like have a fair amount of mastery that they've acquired in this area, or that they will certainly achieve. Now, what I sense about them, though, is that they really, they've been pretty devoted to this, and you may be a distraction. There may be something that they may open to through you or through something else that they don't quite see, but a new layer of reality coming in where they may have the potential to change quite soon into this relationship, or maybe that's what they're going to come up on, and this may reveal a whole nother side of them that they didn't even know was possible. They may develop personality qualities that are really complementary to what you're perceiving them to have right now. So it makes for kind of a unstableness that's coming through, but not in a bad way, in a way that sort of speaks of, excitement. There's change, and you can't quite know, what's going to happen, and it's mysterious not just for them, but for you too. So that's what I'm seeing there. Now, if you picked number 2, this is going to be the water element. What I'm seeing here is that there is a very delicate quality, perhaps, to this individual, if not in their physical presence, in their spirit. They may be quiet. They may be, they're not checked out though. Like they're very observant. But they are, even though they may be appearing or hold the spirit of almost, like a gentle creature, they have the other qualities there should they need them. This is almost like a very Piscean energy. Like they will bring it out. Like they've got the resources ready to go should they need to use them, and they will use them fearlessly. So I think what you'll get most of the time is, the sweetheart, the pure gentle soul here, but mess with them the wrong way because they're paying attention, you will see a whole nother side of them emerge. And I think that they like to keep some of that out in the open. Like they consciously don't want to appear too easy, too passive, because they don't want to be read, and they may have had a history of being read the wrong way. And they are trying to, embody that presence of almost like the balanced, stereotypical female-male qualities in one individual, but they still come across as quite stereotypical feminine. There's such a, how we've given meaning, at least in our Western culture, to that, this, the delicateness of the feminine. And I also see that they may have some resources that back them that can get quite fierce should they need to. So there may be at least one particular family member that may be a source of interference, that if they need a little extra help or something, they will bring in this person, which could be quite intimidating for you. So you may never have a full sense of ownership over this individual because they have an allegiance to something beyond just themselves. Like they know the importance of strong bonds around them, and that that's part of what helps them have that balance in their life. So they're not going to be willing to sacrifice that, nor are they looking for that in you. Like they come ready for that. So they're probably actually looking for, you to match the gentleness. Like they actually want to be in that element. So they're not at all looking for someone that wants to dominate or, be controlling and intimidating. They're not looking for weak either. They want you to hold your own, but balance. Okay, so if you chose number 3, that's going to be a earth dominant individual or earth sign, sun sign. Here I see they may have recently got out of a bond that was high conflict for them. They seem to be okay. They may have grown in a lot of power through this. If you're in a relationship already with someone, you may be experiencing them in a lot of conflict with another person. It could be a family member. It could be someone in the workplace. It could be you. It doesn't necessarily feel like this is... like there could be fighting amongst this with this individual, but it doesn't always feel like they're enemies. Like usually they fight well together. So if you're in a current bond, you may be experiencing this. Like you face life struggles really well together. One person may have a little higher-minded perspective here, especially the feminine energy, where they kind of like to look things over from a loftier perspective, and the other person may be one that just wants to go in and act, without thinking. It's a very Mars energy, like let's just jump in and do this. So that might create a lot of nice balance there if you work as a team. I see that you're very attracted to this individual in a way. There's something about the physicality that of this person and the way that they present themselves that allows you to be yourself too. Like you really feel like yourself around them, and you know, together you can kind of, even if it's different from everyone else, you can kind of do your own thing together, and that's definitely a source that is energizing for you, because you don't have to drain your energy feeling like you have to fit into the world somehow. So you're okay being kind of odd together. Okay, so if you chose number 4, that's going to be a air sign. And what I'm seeing here is that this person may be young, at least younger than you. They may appear to be innocent, and they may really excite you because of their youth. Like it holds so much potential, like this idea of growing, like you want to see what this person can become. You want to see, there's a sense that you want to stick around for quite a while and really see. There's this hint of longevity about it. As far as like that growing old together type of feeling, I don't get that. Not that it doesn't have the potential for that, but if you were to grow old together, I feel like the quality, the youthfulness that this person has is in not maybe just their physicality, but it's in their spirit, and there's something about that you feel that they would take into their days ahead. They may also be fairly vulnerable, yet kind of protective of that too, not completely comfortable being vulnerable, which may also play into that innocence that they possess, you know, not fully exposed. And there's also just this energetic element about them where they feel very alive. And I don't feel like you're trying to take that from them, you know, like that energy vampire thing. But you enjoy how they just are able to be in an environment where it energizes them, you know, like they don't seem like one that drains easily from being in the world and that has to completely hide away. They may have a tendency to be a little bit sullen at times, a little bit introspective, and you know, not quite sure of what direction to take. You know, they may be going into a phase, and they may be there for quite some time, where they have to kind of choose lots of directions that are probably kind of interrelated, but nothing that's like completely hyper focused. And you, in fact, maybe become, you know, a big distraction for them. Like they may actually really want to bond with you and really be personable with you. So they may, you know, actually be looking for a significant other to bond with right now. Okay, so I'm going to look now at what they find attractive about you. And what I'm getting is that you're a strong communicator, and that you're kind of a prolific communicator, perhaps. Like that you really have much to say. And it's preceded by a lot of thought, too. Like you're not just saying things to be chatty. Like you are a deep thinker, is how they're perceiving you. And you know how to temper that. Like you have some sort of mastery with communication. Like you do know, though, when enough is enough. Like you're not, like I said, just chatty for the sake of just saying whatever. You probably are very well composed when you do choose to speak, and you articulate well. And there's something about this ability to communicate that serves the action that you can take in the world as well. It helps create an environment that you're an empowered person in. Now, they may also see that this is an environment that is really, like you're very synchronized into. It suits you well, but you may not be necessarily completely enchanted with it, and that there is, they sense that you need a feminine quality. It's kind of like been in the back of their mind, this huge looming need for the feminine energy to kind of break down some of the structure going on around you, and to complement this real intense, decisive, active energy that you may possess. Now, what they may find unattractive about you is that you may be, you may care for yourself quite a bit, to the point of it coming off as vain. But I don't necessarily feel that they disrespect you for it. It's just that they see that. And it can also be perceived as self-protection. So there may be this questioning of like, well, do you really, if you spend like a lot of time in the gym, or in your home at the gym or something, or whatever it is, maybe it's cooking, being really healthy, but is this because it's driven, like what's driving that is, I think, the question here. Is it for protection, or is it to be better than other people? Is it to appear intimidating? Is this coming from a healthy place, or is this, like an addiction? Like, do you have some sort of health-related addiction? They may also feel like there's just some sort of unnecessary structure in your life that maybe wasn't well thought through, that you're not seeing, and that kind of is unnecessary. It's kind of ill-composed. So it could be maybe related to how you're showing up. Like maybe you have a routine, a health routine, and they're just sort of like, what is this? It seems like such a huge unnecessary presence. But that's their perception, and you have your own. So that's what I'm getting there. As far as what I'm seeing as your greatest point of harmonizing is pretty much your ability to be vulnerable, like you, and to relax into the feminine energy, like for the masculine to kind of ease into the feminine, and just be okay with that, and not having to perform the masculine at all times, and that there is this beautiful easing of the mind. Like there doesn't have to be so much mental energy that is self-directed and maybe sourced from authoritative places, that there can be a type of thought that exists that's just sort of beautiful and almost like the feeling of something that's euphoric or drug induced, in a way, and I don't mean like a chemical, like a hard synthetic drug, but like an experience that's psychedelic, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It just may feel like that, how just when you're in love, that like the whole world feels kind of magical and beautiful. So like your love may just be a place, a source of beauty and transformation, of an inner reality for you that creates, this beautiful harmonizing element. What I'm seeing that may not be bringing harmony to the relationship is something with the way that the feminine communicates. They may be very introspective. They may be more, they may be less intellectual and more kind of secular, as far as like they may be involved with like family history more, the personal story, the subjective, basically. And the masculine may be just way more objective. And so there may be something there that doesn't bring a lot of harmony, because maybe the masculine prefers more of a something that our thing, it's a matter of perception though, because what we think we need is not what we always need, because opposites attract. So it may just be a misperception from the masculine that this is what they want, and just not allowing the feminine energy to just be okay as is, just to be and not have to prove the character here, and not have to be something. And there may be a lack of appreciation for that, for the quality of communication and the area that it speaks to, that's authentic for this person and just as valid. It's basically a communication thing is what I'm seeing. And then your strongest bond, it's quirky. I'm going to say, like, you may appear to be an odd couple physically, and it may be kind of a visual abomination that you create, where it's just, you may have a real awkward presence together, and it may be because you're so much alike, like maybe you look a lot alike, and it just may be kind of big. But there's enough difference there too, like you sense your own differences, like there's definitely this, like you're just enough alike and just enough different to really keep it moving amongst yourselves. It looks like you're also able to just really let go of distractions around you that are petty, that are part of the everyday reality, and know how to give each other pleasure. Like you truly enjoy getting lost in the act of kind of devotion to one another. And that when you do come together, it's true and honest, like you genuinely enjoy, especially knowing the thoughts. Even if you're not communicating them well, there's something about the thoughts amongst yourselves that it's almost like you can read each other's minds. So you may want to, maybe there's something there, maybe there's another level of communication that you can kind of focus on. There definitely seems to be like plenty of physical chemistry and plenty of love. Like it's a very abundant, nurturing type of love here. Not overly emotional, as far as like where it feels like the emotions really flow easily, but the emotions that build strong foundations that are not overly structured, that suggest there's kind of always a new beginning at hand, that always feels kind of fresh. Especially if you picked the last one, the air quality. I feel like the overall relationship kind of holds that energy when you come together. So I'm going to end this reading there. Of course, the counterpart to this reading is also available, and I did release the monthlies for the Virgo season that we're in right now for each astrology sign. So I put those out earlier in the week. If you want to look for those, please help yourself and take excellent care. Hope to be with you soon.